Okay, round 2 will be starting here in just a minute. We did get a round 1 bye, so we were able to skip the first round, so we will see you here for round 2 in just a second. Okay, here we are for round 2. Let's take a quick look, see if we can find out something about the opponent's deck. Alright, so red-blue's got Incinerate, got an Azure Mage, and a Fireball, double Elemental, and a Chandra's Outrage, okay. Oh, this hand looks fine. So Incinerate, Outrage, and Fireball. And 2 Lightning Elementals, so it's good to not let your guard up against him. Here we'll lead out with the black for Sorin's Thirst. And here we're just going to be thirsting the mage. Just going to go ahead and do it right now just so we can't counter it. We want to keep this guy dead. So at this point we could drop a Manolith, but we don't really have stuff to play into, so we're just going to go ahead and drop the Warpath Ghoul here. Like that way next turn if we draw a land, we can play land, Manolith, Pegasus. Okay, so he's got the Adept. Right here we a little bit short on land. Once again, could drop the Manolith, but at this point we want to make sure we're staying even, so we will go ahead here and drop the Ghoul again. Red-blue is a very powerful combination because it allows you to, quickly bounce creatures and then play like lightning elementals to get in. So I mean that's a pretty deadly combo. They have a lot of bloodthirst triggers and a lot of bounce. And red-blue was the deck I was able to go 7-0 in a premier event with for sealed. So definitely need to keep our eyes open. Most likely going to be expecting some kind of removal here. He may want to drop down his elemental first and then wait for it next turn. As a result, if we're able to keep up the Manolith or the white source for save off would be huge. Most likely the question going through his mind right now is whether to Chandra's Outrage our guy and bash, or to drop Elemental and attack with Aether Adept, and then hold Elemental back for next turn. And pretty much for that reason, I put him on Chandra's Outrage instead of Incinerate, because if he had Incinerate, he could probably do that and play 2-drop. But we will see. Alright, so he's got the Drake. Okay, at this point, need to start bashing back. What is our play here? Like, we can drop Pegasus and then block his Aether Adept and not get too far behind. Then we do get behind on mana, though. And it kind of... Yeah, I mean, it makes our play much weaker for just dropping the... yeah, I mean, it's less likely we'll be able to get Sun Titan out. If we drop... See, what are our other plays here? We could drop Manalith, keep Stave Off up for our Warpath Ghoul, but he's just going to be attacking in the air anyway. I think we have to just play Stormfront Pegasus here. Yeah, well, let's see, is that the play? I mean, otherwise what he could do is he could play like Lightning Elemental next turn and bash, so attacking really isn't all that useful. Otherwise he just hits us for 6, we go to 13. How do we get back into this game? What is the play? I think with 2 elementals in his deck, just bashing here is not safe, you know, without dropping like Rock Egg. So it might be correct to attack and drop Rock Egg, you know, and then next turn potentially draw the land, play Stormfront Pegasus. I think I like that a little bit better. Well, but then he's just going to use Chasm Drake to make the Lightning Elemental fly. Yuck. What is the play? Okay, I think we have to... We can't sit around. I think we've got to bash, drop Pegasus, see what he does. I mean, this might be incorrect. It might have been better to drop Manalith with Stave Off backup and then just sit. But then we drop to 13 without doing any damage to him. It's just hard to know. He could have a lot of different stuff here. So I mean, like now if he goes Lightning Elemental, bash in, we trade with Elemental, take 5, go to 13, effectively 12. Or he just has Incinerate for Stormfront Pegasus and then he just gets us. Or he has Warpaint, okay. Okay, so now, let's see, what is the play? Bashes for 7, we go to 11. Next turn, drop Manalith, use Stave Off on Warpaint, trade with Aether Adept, go down to 10, go down to 7. Do we have any other life gain in our deck? I don't think so. Not really. We bash back for 5. Yeah, this is not good. If we chump here, we go to 15. Can hopefully draw a Doomblade. Doomblade this guy, stave this guy off. What I'm worried about is if we just take it, we go to 11, where we have such little time to get back into this game. However, if we do chump here, we won't be able to stop the next threat, and we will not be able to kill Aether Adept. I think we go to 11 here. I think we chance it. Because, I mean, Stormfront Pegasus can still block Adept if we stave off next turn. Okay, there's Cemetery Reaper, which is all well and good, but doesn't actually help us right here. So now, let's see, now we drop Manolith for stave off, and we could try to like drop Greatsword for Pegasus, but problem is it just takes too long. Bashing with Ghoul. If he plays Lightning Elemental next turn, we're really in a lot of... I mean, we're in such a bad place. So if we sit, we need an answer for Drake. Go to 8. Problem is, like, Lightning Elemental just gets us next turn if he has it, so I think we have to sit here, play Manolith, pass it back. There's the Elemental, or the Outrage. We're fine with that because we have to trade with Aether Adept this turn, so that's fine. And the shock, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, so now what's the play? We make this guy pro-red, chump this, go to 5. It's a little better. I think that's got to be the play, otherwise we just take too much damage and lose. Jump there. Now we're still basically dead. So we drop Peregrine. That still kills us. So we can go to 4. Yep, that's it. Okay. So he has Shock, Incinerate, Chandra's Outrage, and Fireball. What can we bring in to swing this around? I think we can bring in Brink of Disaster. Like, it's good on his flyers because he's so aggressive, and it's also good on his Fire Slinger, which basically nullifies it. What do we cut, though? Let's see. If we bring in Brink of Disaster, we want to cut... maybe like a Warpath Ghoul? Probably like a Bloodseeker. I mean, Bloodseeker seems pretty weak against him, since he's so fast. I think, honestly, like, he's so aggressive that we need to actually maybe cut the other Bloodseeker, bring in the Blood Rage Vampire, you know, and just try to survive. We could bring in Oromancer so that we can get back to Brink of Disaster. That seems fine. Okay, definitely going to be on the play. Alright, so here we are. Hand looks just fine. You can go ahead and drop down the Warpath Ghoul first into the Cemetery Reaper. We'll have the Brink plus Oromancer combo. Now hopefully we pull into like Gravedigger. Here we can just chump his guy. Because we're not going to be bashing against this. We could just attack, drop our Oromancer, or we could attack and drop Brink, which is also pretty, just a fine setup. But if we're going to drop Brink, we want a Smallpox first. So I think the play here, he's most likely going to try to use removal on our guy. So what is the play? We could bash in and then Smallpox. Doesn't really do anything. I think we just want to trade here. Like, we just want to sit back, wait for the chump. So now he's got Fire Stinger. We can brink that. Or we can just... actually, I think here we just Smallpox. Discard the Swamp. And we don't have any 6-drops, I don't think, in this deck. We've got the Sun Titan, so we do have one. So now we can just brink his Cutthroat and essentially nullify it. He's got double Azure Mage. Okay, we have a little bit of an issue here. So now we push in with the Stormfront, hopefully get through. If we do, we then are able to drop our Outcasts. But he's not going to allow it. So at this point, we just sit. Okay, and unfortunately his mage is going to be able to do a lot of work here. We can't really effectively play our creatures. Just because Cutthroat is, very, very useful here, unfortunately. So we're in a pretty bad place right now. Volcanic Dragon definitely not going to help. Gideon, however, will definitely help. Here, if he has Fireball, he can get us. However, if he does not, now we can start using Brink of Disaster with Oromancer, hopefully. And he does have the Fireball for 4, unfortunately. I mean, like, we could have, pumped to 8 and forced the attack, which might have been correct, because we would have... That actually... Okay, that was actually a misplay there. If we had forced the attack, it would have been a strictly better play. Okay. Because then we would have forced this guy to die, we would have been able to get the Brink of Disaster back, we could have killed both the mages. That was a pretty big misplay. Alright. Okay. Does he have a second Fireball? No, he has a Sphinx. Okay. This guy's deck is pretty insane, not gonna lie. But, I mean, pretty tremendous misplay on our part. Okay, so now we can force the vampires through at the very least. And he's got the Outrage. Okay. So we attack and we can kill the Cutthroat. He's just going to kill us next turn. We need the Ring Flesh for this guy. And unfortunately, that's going to do it. So we will see you for the next round, round 3. Misplay that probably cost us the match there with Gideon. So just you know, try to clean it up here a little bit.